morning, welcome to another day in this June vlog. You're very welcome. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments yesterday, and it was lovely reading through them all. It is really nice to be back, and it's easy to get into this routine, which I really enjoy. So yeah, it's good to be back. I am getting ready to go out actually. My friend is coming to pick me up and we're going into Belfast. She has a few errands to do and asked me to tag along, and anything to get out of the Monday morning housework I'm up for. So we're going into town and I'm wearing my Felix. It's not blocked, but I don't care. I'm really happy with it, and it's the kind of day that it's suitable. I think. So I have it on. I just wanted to wear it. But we're going into town, as I said, and she is an auction addict. So we're going in to pick up a few things that she has picked up at an auction, and then we're hitting the Asian supermarket in Belfast to pick up some groceries and to have lunch, hopefully, because they have a really, really good restaurant. So that is the plan for this morning. I began my morning as I always do, and you'll have seen, in as much as the weather permits, I get down to the bottom of the garden early morning. I tend not to have my phone with me, although today obviously I did for this, but I don't bring anything down there. It's a quiet half an hour in the morning where I just sit and listen to the birds and get myself set up for the day. It's usually early enough that, you know, it's before everybody else has woken up anyway. And it's just really quiet and it's just the birds. So that was my start to the day, and it's always much appreciated. But now it's time to get into this day and get things done, and hopefully my friend won't be too much longer and we'll hit town. That's me home again. I had a really lovely morning out with Judy. We had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. We picked up the things that Judy had purchased from last week's auction, and we both eyed up things that we like from this week's auction. I saw a couple of little bits. One thing I did see that I'm so tempted by, and I have a couple of days to think about it because Judy will do the bidding for me. I'm not good at these things. Is an old treadle Singer sewing machine, and that's something that I would love to have. I don't really know if I've got space for it, but it's the type of machine I learned how to sew on as a child. My dad had my grandmother's, and he taught me how to sew on the treadle sewing machine. Unfortunately, for me. He gave it away, although it was to a mission. They were looking for sewing machines at one point, and I'd got an electric machine at this point, so he just thought he would pass it on. And I'm quite sorry that that happened now. So I was looking at a treadle sewing machine, but I need to think about it, whether it's a wise thing to get. It's not expensive, the auctions. That is what has really surprised me about a lot of these auctions, is how ridiculously low some beautiful pieces go for, and how pieces that you would just think are not that nice, that are insignificant, that aren't, that shouldn't really, you think, have much value, can go for quite high prices. But I'll think about that. So we had a look around that, and that was nice, and then we headed to the Asia supermarket, and it did not fail. We had a beautiful lunch and some coffee, and then I went in for basmati rice and soy sauce, and I think you saw the haul that came back. James here really likes the Japanese snacks, so that's a place to get them. So we did that, and I've come home, and I have to say I'm really tired. That took it out of me. So I've got a cup of coffee. I love this mug because of the black kitty. It reminds me of Danny. This is a Remembrances pottery mug that I got a number of years ago at a yarn festival in Dublin. But this kitty is our kitty, as you will have seen in the footage. So yeah, I'm sitting down to have coffee, but a couple of things I wanted to show you. I will put in this piece in situ, but I will show it to you here. Anybody who has followed my podcast or my Vlogmas will know that I was crocheting a granny stripe blanket. I used the Attic 24 tutorial when I started, and I've linked that in the description below. And I think I started my granny stripe blanket about 7 years ago. I'm nearly sure it was around 2018 I started it, and it's finished. I was determined when I talked about it at Vlogmas that I would finish it, that it definitely couldn't go into another year of Vlogmas, because it appeared, and that seemed to be the main time that I worked on it, but it wasn't going to make another Vlogmas. But it is finished, absolutely, totally finished and in use. It is on my bed in pride of place. I finished it in January, and I am thrilled with this, and it is massive. I have a double bed, and it takes up most of the length of it, and it hangs over by about 9 inches on each side. And when I finished it in January, I weighed it. So this is 1.85 kilos. And when I worked that out, that's about 7.4 kilometers of yarn. And it's all scraps. Scraps that I had from socks that I knit, scraps from other people, and some mini skeins that I had got. There might even be Advent mini skeins in here, mini skein sets that I had bought or was given. But I worked it out, and if it was 1.85 kilos and 7.4 kilometers, this is my maths, so hopefully it's right, and 400 meters roughly to 100 grams in any given 100 gram ball of fingering weight. There's about 18 and a half skeins of yarn in this. It's heavy, but I had wanted it for the end of the bed, and now that it's there, it fills my heart every time I get into bed and I look down, and I have an old-fashioned kind of bed and bedroom and country style, and it just fills my heart. And it has to be one of my favourite project ever. It's totally random. There's no order into the colours. I would say the last maybe 10 inches of it is quite light in colour, but it was meant to be random and I love it for all that. So I'm finally finished the granny stripe blanket and it is in use. But there are plenty of other blankets still on the go, and you will see those as time goes on. You saw the habitation throw that I was working on yesterday. That's one of them. Another one is the jelly roll blanket, and I'll show you that throughout the month, that I'm knitting with Legacy Fibre Arts yarn and their DK minis. And today some actually arrived in the post and I haven't seen it yet. I've opened the package but not looked in, so you'll see it too. So every month Legacy Fibre Arts do a Schitt's Creek based themed sock set, and oh my goodness, you can get the sock set and then a DK mini on top of it, because at one point they were doing a DK mini club and I had been part of that and been getting a little bundle of 4 or 5 minis, DK minis every month. And because people had started blankets, they've been putting these into their sock sets, if you wish it, for the Schitt's Creek club. So this is, I get the micro socks set every month, and this is Cafe Tropical. Isn't that lovely? And they're just, this is their fingering weight sock set, merino nylon, steel toes base, which I love for their socks. And then this is the DK mini. Try and get the light off. That goes with it. There's peaches and yellows and greens and blues, and that will go into my DK blanket, and I'll show you the blanket as it's coming along. But it was exciting today to get another colour that will go into that, and that is another blanket that I have on the go. I think I have another crochet blanket somewhere. So yeah, there's, although I might have finished my granny stripe, there are plenty more blankets to be getting on with. And I did get another little bit of post today, and again I've opened but not seen. Oh my goodness. And this is from Woolens and Nosh. And Woolens and Nosh do the most beautiful self-striping yarn. Michelle's colours are gorgeous. I am knitting at the moment, I keep it in the car, a sushi colourway. And when I saw this one, I couldn't resist. It is Repotting Sprout is the colour. Again, I'm trying to, there we go, keep the light off it. And this is the mini, like the soil. So that'll be a future pair of self-striping socks, and self-striping socks just, once they get going, knit themselves. So that arrived today too. I'm trying not to buy too much yarn this year. Most of the projects, all of the projects I've been working on have been from stash, but I do get that Schitt's Creek Club once a month from Legacy Fibre Arts. Because I love it and I love Legacy Fibre Arts, and that leads me to the sock that you saw me knitting earlier today. This is, oh, this light is really blowing out things. I think the colourway, I don't have the label, I think this is it Charlie Sue? And I started these about a month ago, just over a month ago, and they're shorties, so they should be finished. Peter and I had been away for a weekend, Amy had gifted her daddy at Christmas a weekend at Silverstone Racetrack in England to watch GT cars racing. That's his thing. And I thought I needed to knit something when I was there that I would be bored. But I wasn't bored. I loved it. But I knit anyway and watched the races as I knit. And this is what I started. And actually I did most of it there. And haven't picked it up much. And I realised yesterday when I had picked it up why. It's because these needles, there's a problem. I love my Zing needles. These are Knit Pro Zings. They're the 2.5mm needles, as I do most, if not all, my fingering weight socks. But you can't really feel it. But the join in this one has become very ridged. Just here. And normally I don't have an issue with that. With the needles, this side's fine, but there's a little ridge here and it catches all the time and I have to really push the needle in. So I looked in my needles and found another set. So that's my job now this afternoon, is to move the sock to here, and then hopefully they'll zoom, because I'm on the foot and they are shorties. So it was, as I said, this colour. Really, the colour is not showing up particularly well, and the contrast with this. So I think for a little while now this afternoon, that is what I'm going to work on before dinner time. Dinner time's really easy today. I brought a vegetarian dish home with me from the supermarket for James, and hopefully he will eat that. And there's leftover chicken curry for dinner, and in my opinion curry's better the next day anyway, so that's dinner sorted, nice and easy, and it means that I can relax for a little while now over this knitting. And then tomorrow really needs to be a day in the house, because as I look around, my house really needs dealt with. But not today. It can wait. Knitting is first.